Jackson Powers Johnson is a center who was one of the more dominant prospects coming out of this year's draft. A true general in the gridiron who was a former four-star recruit who dominated on both sides of the ball coming out of high school. He is one of the players who was a unanimous All-American and one of the guys that the Cowboys are going to have to make a decision on to potentially anchor this offensive line for years to come. So when you're taking a look at a guy like Jackson Powers Johnson, we know that he is a very, very physical player. This guy actually played on defense in the Alamo Bowl. So that's a testament to show that this guy is willing to do anything for his team, offensive line, defensive line, just stepping up and being a leader. And this is exactly what this player does. So on this play here, you're going to see this player's athleticism, just being able to get to the second level and go out there and be physical. So this linebacker here, he's going to be bluff blitzing and shooting out into coverage. And it's going to be a screen play to the running back. But just seeing this guy's athleticism and knowing how to be able to blow these guys up and finish plays, this is what NFL scouts like to see from their centers, guys that can be able to move and get things going. So we'll go ahead and run it. The running back, he's going out for a screen pass. And just seeing Powers Johnson just get down to the second level, going out there and locking in on his target and finishing the play. You love to see this kind of stuff, Cowboys Nation. Whenever you can be able to find a player that can be able to be athletic like this and be physical, it just makes it better for all of the running backs. And this is one of the guys that was doing this all throughout the season, just being that anchor on the offensive line, not only being able to block at the line of scrimmage, but putting this guy out in space, just like some of those athletic guards. When you have a guy that can be able to do things like this, it can just open up so much things for your offense, because with the Dallas Cowboys, we love to keep these offensive linemen on the move. And some of these running backs in the NFL, if you have a center like him, all you need is a small crease to make a big play. So here's another play right here that was exactly like the first play. Just seeing this guy get out there in space, a lot of misdirection plays. That's a lot of things that they do when it comes down to Oregon's offense. But seeing their running back, they're going to be faking him the ball to the left side. But that wide receiver is going to be running the reverse, the opposite way. But just watching the tight end as well as Powers Johnson, just going out there and just being physical. Usually defenses get gassed, especially in the fourth quarter, whenever you can beat up on them like this. So we're running. They're faking the ball to the running back to the left. And you see the whole defense, all of those guys are biting that way. And with the wide receiver, he's getting a reverse play, and it's going to be green grass. But locking in on Powers Johnson, just seeing this guy open in space, just having that will and that grit to go out there to finish the play and attack number 0 and knock this guy in the dirt. And these are the type of plays right here. If you can continuously do things like that, you can make Pro Bowls. And you can see right there that that guy brings that energy. You can see how he got his hands out like that. That rubs off on the whole offensive line, as well as the wide receivers and the running backs. Just being that captain and that leader on the team to go out there and finish plays to the whistle. Whenever you can be able to find centers that can make plays like this, being physical and athletic, this is how you can be able to separate yourself when you get to the NFL. Usually with these centers and guards, they like to play very, very low. And they use this as their advantage to be able to gain leverage and strike these guys within the interior. And sometimes these defensive tackles, they get off balance, and you can be able to reset these guys at the line of scrimmage, redirect them, and wash them out the play. You can get pancake blocks. And one thing about Powers Johnson, he has a knack for being able to do that. And that's exactly what he did on this play. So we'll go ahead and run it. Just seeing these guys getting off the line of scrimmage, just looking at number 77, he's looking lazy right there. And the thing is, when you're playing up against a center like him, if you're going to look lazy like that and slow off the ball, watch his left arm. Shocked him at the line of scrimmage right there. And his interior power, I mean, if you're going to be tiptoeing like that, he's going to take you and reset you and control you at the line of scrimmage, Cowboys Nation. Finishing up with a pancake block and wiping this guy out of the play. That is Christmas when it comes down to an offensive coordinator and an offensive line coach. And if this guy can be able to do this on a consistent basis, it's just going to open things up for the offense. And usually with these defensive linemen, they like to reach with their hands a lot. And with these offensive linemen in the NFL, if they get to reaching too much, they will chop them with their arms, and these guys will buckle. Next thing you know, those guys get on the ground. Those guys sit on them and eliminate them from the play. So just having a player that can be able to reset defenders and eliminate guys out the play, these are the type of reps that Mike Solari and Will McClay like to see. And this guy will be a top 30 visit for sure. Johnson ended up changing his name in college, adding his stepdad's first name, a guy that has been around him all of his life. The Powers in it is his mom's maiden name. Johnson is his dad's last name, with James being his stepdad's first name, being changed to Jackson James Powers Johnson. It's always good to hear these type of stories, Cowboys Nation. So on this play here, it was a bad play by Powers Johnson, and usually he doesn't make bad plays like this, but I did want to show y'all this, Cowboys Nation, because it's not going to be perfect with this guy, but just making sure that you can get your hands on these defenders and drive these guys away from the ball carrier, just so these guys won't be able to slip from you and get to the backfield and ruin the play. So we'll run it. So the running back gets the ball, and seeing Powers Johnson just overextending to the right, that guard, he kind of moved him to the left side. But if he would have just been a little bit more patient, not try to be too aggressive, he wouldn't have overextended like he did. And overextended allowed that defensive tackle to shoot inside and get after the running back. And with Powers Johnson, just watching his film, I didn't really see too many plays of him making mistakes. But when you're going into the NFL, sometimes these plays happen. So just making sure that you're not overly aggressive, especially when his players playing in big games. So in this final play here, this was one of my favorite plays from him, just being able to have a high IQ. And one thing about the Dallas Cowboys offense, we want these guys to be physical at the line of scrimmage as well as getting to the second level. And that's exactly what he did on his play, being able to chip that defensive tackle and get down to number 52 to give that running back room for a positive gain. So we'll go ahead and spin it. Zooming in on Powers Johnson, just seeing this guy chip number 89, you see how he reset him like that? Just hitting him in his gut. And usually, whenever you can be able to reset a guy like that and just blow that guy off track, it makes it better for the guard. And seeing this guy just completely blow this guy all the way to the right side, using his power and using his legs, it just makes things easier for running backs. The running back read the wrong hole. He should have cut it inside the A gap. And whenever you have a guy that can be able to do this, just being able to double team block and getting down to the second level, this is how you can be one of the better NFL players in the league if you can do this on a consistent rate. So it's going to be good to see how it all plays out with Powers Johnson. And that center position is a very, very important piece when it comes down to the Cowboys offensive line. And with guys like Tyler Biadasz, he had some good games, but it's not good enough. You can be able to go out there and find a Travis Fredericks. And with Travis Frederick, this could be the same type of scenario where we might trade back or we might stay at 24 and select this guy. But being an anchor at that offensive line is extremely important. And we'll see how it all plays out with guys like Tyler Smith. Do they kick him at that left tackle position? Y'all comment below and let me know how y'all feel about this. TJ Bass playing that left guard position. But when you see a guy like Powers Johnson, who has the potential to be a Pro Bowl player on his offensive line, this is how you bring out a better Dak Prescott, as well as everybody else on the offensive line. And when it comes down to the NFL draft, sometimes it's good to take the solid picks over the sexy picks, because the solid picks is what can be able to make you take that next step when you get into the playoffs. So let's see if the Dallas Cowboys feel the same way. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss on fire live streams and unique breakdowns. All right, Cowboys Nation, talk to y'all soon. Gone.